DMV Drakes. You already know how it is. We got the boy Spiderman Jonez with his locals undefeated deck list of Gallantmon.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it good for you today. You gotta speak up though, because the store is pretty loud. Yeah, you gotta come on. Yeah.
All right.
Pace.
So basically, starting off your eggs, you got to run 4 Digimon. Best egg gets you the draw. You don't need to run the DP1. You want the consistency of the draw. Enough said. I'm only using 2 of the starter deck 7 Gallantmons. Warp is good, but with the draw from the egg, you don't really need to run more. So I decided to go for more tech Gallantmons. You got to run 4 of the EX2 Searcher Gallantmons. Basically, this is what draws you your pieces, grabs your Takados, and this inheritable comes out to pop small bodies, and you can raise that up through the line. You run this as a 4-of. And then starting off, we're running 3 copies of the EX3 Gallantmon. This is how you mainly do some chip damage and trash your opponent's security to fill up their trash and get Takado or another Gallantmon trash to kind of put back on the board later. So we're running that as a 3-of. And then lastly, we're running 3 copies of the Gallantmon X to go on top of any of these Gallantmons, basically allowing you to draw, pop small bodies, and you can do this a combo to raise up your line to pop bigger bodies later on. Next, we're running 2 of the starter deck Growlmons. Now, this is arguably the best Growlmon for its inheritable and its play cost, but with the new way I'm playing the deck, I decided to put this as a 2-of to kind of just filter out and kind of gain more advantage through the overall game plan of milling. And then we're running 4 copies of the EX3 Growlmon. Basically, it's inheritable to pop another Digimon to gain sack check plus for the turn, and its ability to trash and delete makes it more versatile than this, because this could be a vanilla when you draw into it. So we're running 4 copies of this. We're running 3 copies of Growlmon X that goes on top of any of these 6 Digimon here for another draw. It's kind of weaker than other X Bond lines, but you run this as 3 just for the cycle and draw. And we're running 1 Aguni, hybrid for game. Moving on to our to our ultimates. We're running 4 copies of the new Wargrowl EX3. Basically, both players trash top 3. You play a Gallantmon or Takado from your hand or trash, allowing you to blitz earlier and give you that little card advantage. I use this to mess up boards so that they couldn't blitz for game, or they mess up the pieces when they're trying to OTK me. And we're running 4 copies of Wargrowl X. This is here to basically, pop body 6K, and with the Growlmon X lines, you can go up to 8K. This marks things and gives you memory gain. Next up for our Megas, we're running 3 copies of the Star Deck Gallantmon. This is basically the best card for the Gallant. You could run the BT-2 one, but I feel like the sec check from this one was better. And then we're running 3 copies of the Gallantmon X line, so that you can go over this for 1, pop something, trash security, or if you don't got this can just function as a mini Gaia Force if your opponent doesn't have more than 1 card on board. We're running 2 copies of Crimson Mode because you mill a lot with this deck, so that you can kind of just make sure you draw 1. And when you're filling up trash, this kind of goes for game early on. You can easily go from game when your opponent's at 3 security or less if they got 20 cards in trash. And then for tech options, we're running 2 Gallantmons because you can play Gallantmons pretty frequently off the Wargrowl. You can basically just play this for 1. If you have 2 of these in hand, it'll just gain you DP, memory, and draw. So I use this instead of Cool Boy. We're running 4 Takadomons. We're running 4 Takados basically because you mill a lot and you want to see this in the trash or in your hand as soon as possible to kind of turn your game on.
Takadomon.
We're running 1 copies of Hero because we mill a lot, so if we're playing more memory tamers, this kind of slows us down, as well as we're just trying to go turbo. You see early game is good, but if you mill it, you can still make do with this, giving you a whole line blitz. 2 copies of Red Memory Boost so that you can just filter, find your pieces, missing rookie, grab it. 2 copies of Crimson Blaze for like the Jets matchup, the Bloomlord matchup, and any decks that's trying to go like wide. You can bump this up with your line to hit like 7 and 8Ks, and 1 copy of X Anybody to kind of fix your stack and kind of go for fancy plays. But that's a deck list I took first place at locals at Game Castle with. So if you like it, you can also like, comment, subscribe, and let us know if you have any suggestions down below.
Now, I got some questions before we sign off. So,
Sure.
Can you explain the matchups that you had that day?
So I played against Masty, and Crimson Blaze just went burr. It stopped him from playing decks, as well as since I was filling up their trash, they tend to brick a lot. So I was gaining advantage from putting cards in trash while they were losing advantage because they couldn't really digivolve and play cards. And then I also played Jess, and again, Crimson Blaze go burr. So
Some days does go burp.
So one time I put up my opponents at 6, but because they couldn't play no sister mons, they couldn't really gain sec check and advantage. So basically, I just killed them next turn.
And then, did you play any cross hard or Melga X?
Nah.
Cross hard Melga X?
That locals didn't have any Melga players at that day, and Crosshar's basically a dead deck, so you don't really have to worry much about them.
Hashtag dead deck Melga.
Yeah, hashtag dead deck.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We got more videos to come.
Yep.